We're going to talk about development news of the week, sponsored by Eagle Mortgage. You hear us talking about Eagle Mortgage, Holly Schneiderwin and her team, right at 114th and Davenport, just south of Dodge. You really need your pre-approval letter. I had two friends call me and wanted to buy residential houses, and I referred them to a friend of mine because I don't do residential, but what it shows me is that people see the rates coming down, and I really think that you're going to see a lot of homes transacting. Are you seeing more signs in your neighborhood?
I'm not. It's probably the lowest amount of signs in the neighborhood I've ever seen. It's kind of surprising.
Well, you live in a really ritzy neighborhood, and people have those 3.5% mortgages. But I met with Holly Schneiderwin the other night, and she says they're busy, and you want that pre-approval letter. They do conventional VA and FHA loans. Just go to eaglemortgagecompany.com, and they will set you up. Well, when it comes to development news, Mayor Stothert and Wicklow Development, which is Patrick Mulhall and his family, we're talking about 120th and Maple and 120th and Fort. And Mulhalls have been very prolific, and they have a great core business in the nursery, but they've built apartments, shopping centers, they've sold land over there. And now, a few months ago, Mayor Stothert announced that the city's putting in $54 million, and they're going to have several, I think it's like 13 or something new soccer fields, turf fields. They're going to do baseball and softball. And that is going to come on, I think, it'll be totally done with baseball and softball like around 27. But before that, the city is expected to have, the soccer fields, I think, are coming within the next year. So you have that. And then the big announcement, both for Wicklow, they have 55 acres mixed-use development next to the expanding Tranquility Park. And what do you think about Chicken and Pickle announcing?
Yeah, it's going to be a real addition to that area. That area's kind of been a little bit slow to grow over the years, but they have some new apartments that are just coming online now. The Chicken and Pickle is going to be a big draw for people from all over the city, and it should really start to take off up there. So
we're talking, I think it's about 6, some indoors, some outdoors, pickleball courts, which is the rage. I think if you have any business, you need a pickleball court now.
Yeah, it
seems like it, right? But what's going to happen to this area with hotels, apartments, retail? The Mulhalls have they're well underway. It used to be the Roanoke Apartments. Now it's the IVI Apartments. They're half done, and the rest of them will be completed by July 2024. And I looked online, and the IVI Apartments, they look really nice, and they've got a little lake there, and they've got
a pool and a clubhouse.
Yeah, and so with the expanded Tranquility Park and everything else going on, it'll be another note. It just seems like, Brad, that we have all these districts.
Yeah.
And you got to have a district, and you have to name it and things like that. And I think it's good because I think of when I talk to people about the Blackstone district and City Center and La Vista or whatever, and I remember meeting over in Council Bluffs where the MAC Center is, the Mid-America Center. They never really named that area, and it drives me nuts because you got some good businesses over there. Tesla's building a new repair shop, a huge state-of-the-art repair shop, and it never really they didn't master plan at the beginning. And I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just saying that it's hard to think about that unless there's a show or you go in the casino or whatever. But it's got a lot of elements. But I challenge the City of Council Bluffs and Iowa West Foundation to take the sports complexes, everything over there, and call it something.
Yeah, it's interesting when you tell someone, like, hey, I'm going to go over to Full Fledged Brewing. They're like, oh, where's that? And you either say it's by Bass Pro or it's by the Mid-America Center, but you don't call it by a name like the Blackstone.
And it's a big area. So huge. We like what they're doing over there. We love the improvements to Broadway. And they certainly have the funding and the manpower and women power, but it should be more complete.
Maybe the Chicken and Pickle development could have a nod to the past and call it the Boondockers District.
I like it.
That's what everyone refers to that area as. Oh, is that where Boondockers used to be?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, let's talk demolition. It's always exciting to see a building come down, especially if it's something good is going to come in its place.
Three of them this week.
Yeah. First up, Nebraska Medicine is demolishing the former Mid-City Bank building at 42nd and Farnham. The long vacant building sits on a small island of property surrounded by 42nd Street, Farnham, Harney Street. Nebraska Medicine is keeping the land for future expansion. So they got so many projects down there that they can just hold it, and I'm sure it's not depreciating.
I would say I see this being some kind of nice green space for the immediate future, because it's a pretty small parcel. It's, like you said, landlocked by streets on pretty busy streets on every side, and it's just going to be a nice visual cleanup to have that building gone along there.
Maybe we need another bright and colorful lit up obelisk or some piece of artwork as a holding.
I like what they've done on 42nd and Leavenworth with on that corner.
Yeah, no, Nebraska Medicine is creative. It's just such a technology and medical hub. It's exciting to see what's happening there. And then let's go down near Creighton, where they are tearing down the former Mystery Manor. It was a haunted house at 18th and Bird, everybody's favorite, it seemed like, north downtown. They're going to hold the ground for future use as well. So
that one was always interesting because it had the appeal of a haunted house inside and out. When you were walking down the street, it was this really gnarly old house with overgrown trees. And it was funny because it was right in the middle of all Creighton's new athletic complex. If you were walking to a game at Sokol Arena, you walked right by the Mystery Manor.
Yeah, absolutely. So that will be missed. The third and final demolition of the week is the property just north of the Think building, that medical facility right on Center Street. The 4 or 5 story office building. I believe that one was, along with a couple other, was built by a guy by the name of John Madden, not the guy on the football announcing and the player, but a guy that moved to Denver, but he was a prolific developer from Omaha, and they're going to make way for 200 apartments. Is that what you heard?
Yeah, a while back, earlier this summer, probably in the planning board documents, there was a 200 unit apartment building proposed there. And so that's pretty much transformed most of that. The Think, they removed an old 70s building for the Think building. They removed an old 70s building for these apartments. And then not as old, but that old West building was torn down, and for the, not the Child Saving Institute, but the Community Alliance.
Yeah.
Built that new building on the corner.
And these I remember when these are owned by travelers, and my mentor, Jim Moore, over what was called the Mega Corporation, was involved in that transaction with Walter Scott. So that goes way back, probably 25 years. Probably 28 years. Early site preparation has started on a large mixed-use development northwest of Interstate 80 and Highway 31 in Gretna. The site is immediately west of Nebraska Crossing. Available lots range from 1 to 90 acres. No businesses or users have been announced. And actually, Mulhall's has a beautiful site just west of Nebraska Crossing as well. So that area is in fuego.
Between that and what's going on south with some of those big industrial buildings.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of action out there.
New Street Development and Lovely Skin has a big building out there, and they're building like a 400,000 square foot spec building. Yeah. So that's pretty impressive. Brian Diedrichson and his team at New Street are good folks. Finally, Site Selection Magazine, a national trade publication, so not everybody on listening gets Site Selection Magazine. Apparently Jeff does. It's big in the economic development circles. They highlighted Omaha's new downtown riverfront parks in a recent article headlined "The Parks That Herald Omaha's Return to the River." The article describes how former Kiewit chairman Ken Stinson and former Valmont Industries CEO Moens Bai led a fundraising campaign. The private sector would pony up $400 million towards the realization of the riverfront parks. The city chipped in about $60 million. This is unique, and Omaha is unlike any other city where we don't wait until our stakeholders and the people that made the money pass away and put their name on a project or whatever. These guys and gals get in there, get their hands dirty. They want to be good stewards. They want to manage it along with the city. If it wasn't for the stakeholders and contributors of all sizes, Omaha wouldn't be as great as it is.
Yeah, and they show up for the groundbreaking ceremonies, and they show up for the ribbon cutting. So they're hands-on for the entire part of the project too.
There was 3 or 4 philanthropists that each wrote a $50 million check.
Unbelievable.
And
awesome.
you know some of them, and you probably don't know some of them because that's how, they don't put their name at front. It's called the Riverfront Park. The end of the article discusses how the 3 riverfront parks are already generating spin-off development in the downtown area, including the $600 million, 44-story Mutual of Omaha headquarters building, and the $356 million streetcar system. So we're loving that. And then one more before we go to the break is CHI Health Center. You found that they're going to have a courtside lounge for drinks for the guests that are on the floor.
Yeah, that's going to be a neat addition to it. If you were sitting on the floor before, you had to hike up whatever it was, 22 rows of seats to get up to the regular club lounge. So I didn't know exactly where they were building. I had a guess, and then they came back and said that they were putting it in a former locker room. So,
oh wow!
And like UNO,
hope they'll get some air fresheners or something like that.
They've already converted that to something for Creighton, so it'd be interesting to see where this
absolutely. And that is your development news of the week, sponsored by Eagle Mortgage, EagleMortgageCompany.com. Get your pre-approval letters there.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.